Good morning. Well, I'd first like to say thank you to the foundation for inviting me here today. It's really been an honor. I've enjoyed meeting all of you. You've been very gracious, and I think your county is well positioned to do some awesome planning work in the coming years from the people that I met. It's great. Before I start, I'd like to mention a few things related to my presentation. I'm going to be talking about older adults, elders, the elderly, older people. Sometimes that refers to age 60 and over, sometimes 65 and over, sometimes 75 and over. I'll try to tell you what I'm talking about. But a lot of times it just depends on where the data came from. You know, people will ask me, well, why are you switching now to 65 and over instead of 60 and over? Well, because the data that I'm looking at may not be available, in that manner. Also, some of the data I'll show you is from the global perspective. And I've got U.S. statistics for you, Colorado data, and Larimer County data. All of that in the next 40 minutes. Some of the data you need to know is from the 2000 census. That is considered somewhat dated and old. We're about to do another census, so just take that with a grain of salt to understand that some of this data in the coming few years will be updated and modified. As a matter of fact, I was looking on the web last night, and you know how Fort Collins and Larimer County, and even Loveland was on a list of the best places to retire, Loveland, Fort Collins. And so I was looking at this U.S. News and World Report article. Here's what it said, and I think this is relevant to looking at data. Data and algorithm used in this application is deemed reliable but not guaranteed. So, think that way. This is reliable, but okay, I think, back one, sorry. My family's from the old country, and we do use our hands a lot. So I'll try to only do this when So today I'm going to paint a picture for you of what population aging looks like from the global to the local level. We're going to peruse some information quickly. We're going to spend a little more time on other information. And for those of you in the back, I do apologize. These slides apparently will be made available online. But just know there will be a lot of charts. This demographic data is going to provide you with the context for the rest of today. What does Larimer County look like? The main question today really is for me to answer, what does Larimer County look like now in terms of aging, and what can we expect to see in the future? Global population aging is a success story. It represents a triumph of public health, medical advancement, and economic development over disease and injury. It's a good thing. And we consider global aging very desirable. We have sought after global aging at all levels, national, state, regional, and local. It will bring benefits, and it has costs. It has challenges. So here's some of the keys. We need to pay attention to the trends. Seek out and understand objective information. Although, remember what I read earlier. It's pretty good, and we can use it, but always be cautious. And committing to collaborative problem solving, which is what Phil had talked about. We need to, I believe this, stay away from promoting generational warfare. We really need to work together because the issues affect all generations. This is something in the New York Times. It's called the New York Times Idea of the Day. This was from August of 2009. These quotes, boy, I think we're all having a little, excuse me. It is water. I promise. Okay. So these quotes express the contradiction between what people feel about wanting to live as long as possible, but at the same time wondering, what are all these old people going to do until they die? So let's look. It says we are healthier, living longer, and birth rates are falling. So why is everybody so grumpy about having an aging globe? Another quote, the Census Bureau's recent finding that old people will soon outnumber the young globally is being greeted with dark foreboding. But what if it isn't calamitous? What if it's a good thing? So that kind of underlies my approach to looking at the demographics. But in any case, let's remember that Larimer County aging is part of the larger global phenomenon of aging. It's not just happening here. If certain things can be put into place by individuals and communities, successful aging can occur. Just like Phil was talking about the Advantage Initiative, we have a model for aging well that was developed here in Colorado. He referred to the Strengths and Needs Assessment from 2004. This model was developed by National Research Center, I may call them NRC if I mention them again, in conjunction with the State Office on Aging. And by the way, we have Jeanette and Todd, are you the only two here from the state? Maybe say hello to them. There are 3 areas that are the main areas to work on in this model of successful aging: outlook on life, physical health, connecting to others. And let's look at information on these 3 areas today as we sit in the groups and work, as we listen to people. You've already heard some discussion about these 3 areas. These are 3 kind of context areas. Phil talked about 4 areas. This is 3. In Jefferson County, we're working on an initiative. We have 6 areas. One thing you'll need to do is decide, and we talked about this yesterday with the board, what are we going to focus on here? What areas are we going to focus our attention and prioritize? I always have to have one slide that has a comic strip in it. For those of you in the back who can't see it, there's 2 older gentlemen sitting by the side of a pool. The one on the left has a no tattooed body. The one on the right is covered with tattoos. The guy on the left, no tattoo guy, says, I guess we all have to live with the decisions we make in our youth. The other guy says, what do you mean? I just got these 4 months ago. So I put this here because I wanted to show an example of people connecting with other people. There's people interacting, but it also gives an idea of a potential late life hobby, like getting tattoos, in case you're looking for one. Many of these global trends are being experienced right here in Larimer County. The world's population is aging. Do you know that by the year 2015, we will have more elders than kids in the world? That's a change. Never before has that happened. Number 2, life expectancy is increasing. How long can people live, and what will people do, and how will they live? Number 3, the number of the oldest old is rising. Just had to make sure the right slide was up there. From 2008 to 2040, the 80 and over population is going to increase by 233% in the world. What's going to happen? Well, we're going to need more services and health care. That's what's going to happen. At the same time, the regular overall population is only going to increase in that same time period by 33%. So lots of growth among the old, very little overall growth. There will be growth, but nowhere near. 4, some populations are aging while their older populations are aging and their overall size is declining. This has implications for how do we care for people in retirement? How do the workers pay to help the non-workers survive and live? And then 5, non-communicable diseases will be a growing burden across the globe. And it's really, chronic disease is an issue for all countries, including ours. It's not just somewhere else that's an issue. Family structures are changing. People are having fewer